J-Real. J-Real.
All right, folks, ¿qué pasa? Welcome back to the Average Joe Sports Talk Show. I'm your host, J-Real, and in studio we have Gonzo in the house. What's up, buddy?
Not much. How are you?
Doing good, man. Okay, now, we did have a weekend special. We were going to try to cover the NFL free agency, but my gosh, Ski Apache was a blast. And did you get a chance to check out that show? Did you see
it was a good show, man.
Yeah, it was good. Ski Apache treated us well. So we are doing this Tuesday show specifically, or at least most of it will be on the NFL free agency. So we don't have any time. We're not going to cut to break. We're not going to take any kind of commercial or anything. We're going to go straight into NFL talk. You cool with that, Gonzo?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. Now, free agency started, I believe, on Friday. Right now, we are going to go to the Average Joe Sports Talk Show top 5 NFL free agent picks. Now, as I read these off, Gonzo, I'm going to go ahead and go to your opinion on them and see what you think about it, all right?
Okay.
So, number 1, we're going to go with an undrafted free agent from 2010 in the Giants, Victor Cruz. What do you think about Victor Cruz, man?
Well, I think he's a good player. He's a great player for the Giants. Very productive.
Yeah.
You know, clutch plays. I mean, you
Yeah.
can count on it. With him and Knicks, you know.
They had a 1-2 punch, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's great. And then you got Eli slinging it, I mean, to him. I mean, it's a good fit. I think he needs to stay with the Giants. I hope he does.
Yeah.
You know, he's a good player.
Yeah, now one thing we're going to talk to all you folks out there in YouTube land about is the guy's only 26 years old still.
Yeah.
He's just coming out of a 2-year rookie contract. And let's just break it down like this. The guy had 86 receptions last year. He caught for over 1,000 yards. And the guy, do you want to know what this guy makes a year?
What does he make?
This guy doesn't even break $500,000. He's like $490,000 in salary money.
Somebody needs to pay him.
That is like a, what is it, baby powder, right? Come on now, Giants, $490,000. My gosh. So this guy's either going to get paid by the Giants this year.
Right.
He's going to get a deal where he's going to get paid, make the coin for the bank, or he's going to get traded somewhere else and make the coin for the bank. Yeah. Don't you think?
Oh, yeah.
So right now, our number 1 pick again, Victor Cruz. Going on to our second pick. Now, this was a little shaky, Gonzo, but we had to go with an offensive lineman in Jake Long from Miami. This guy is a beast. This guy came out of college, was a number 1 pick. Now, he is coming off injury this year.
Mm-hmm.
That is a fact. But the guy is only 27 years old, so those bones mend good. The tendons and muscles that get torn, all the damage that can happen to his body should heal up pretty well.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think about Jake Long?
I think he's a good player. I think, you know, for the Dolphins, you know, they don't really have much right now. And once they get a quarterback in there, you know, they're going to need some protection like this. And I think you know, like I said, I think he should stay. I
totally agree. I think Jake Long's a good player, and if Miami's not going to pay him, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of teams out there that will pick him up. 27 years old. I mean, come on.
Well, there's a lot of teams around the NFL right now that need a lot of help on their line.
Right. And that's the key, though. When you need some help on your line, because I don't care if you're Tom Brady, I don't care if you're, you know, whoever, Elway, all these guys that were in the history, if they don't have time to throw the ball, they're in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
All right, so that's our number 2, Jake Long. Going on to our third, and this is another receiver, Mike Wallace from the Pittsburgh Steelers is a free agent. Now, the guy is 26 years old, still got a lot of youth. Now, one of the downfalls or people that look down on him is that he missed a lot of big balls last year.
Mm-hmm.
All right, he missed a lot of big throws going his way that he should have had.
Right.
So they're saying that, you know, the guy's got the height, and he's super quick speed.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's not one of the fastest players in the NFL, I think he's probably the fastest receiver. This guy can be down the field and probably not get overthrown with a 2-step, 3-step drop. But the problem is, don't you think they got to catch him, right?
Well, yeah, they have to make that effort to catch him. I mean, I mean, yeah, it's one thing to say, you know, quarterback, well, he overthrew me. He overthrowed, he underthrew, you know, he didn't say it right, he expected me to do this and I did that.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of that. But a lot of it comes on to the receivers, because back when I was playing football, even in high school, they tell you if you're going out as a receiver, you need to be sure you keep a look on the quarterback, and if you need to come back, you come back.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
Well, the guy's 26 years old. He had 64 receptions last year for about 836 yards. Now, he did have 8 touchdowns, so he did the job in the red zone, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So right now we're going to say I'm almost positive the Steelers are not going to take this guy's contract, because the Steelers are infamous for letting go players that want the big money.
Right.
That is something that my team, the Steelers, do not deal with. When it comes time to big contracts, they let them go, and then they rebuild through the draft.
Right.
So I do not think Mike Wallace will be with the Steelers. Some people were mentioning possibly going to the Giants, going to the Vikings.
Well, they just lost Percy Harving, so yeah, they could use him.
Yeah, we're going to get into that a little bit, so yeah, maybe they're making room.
Yeah, could be.
Good possibility. So Mike Wallace is our third. Going to our fourth, and this guy's a veteran. He's been around the league. He knows what's going on, but we're going to go with Steven Jackson. This guy is a running thoroughbred. Yeah, he's a beast. Now, the guy is 29 years old, so he has some years on it, but they say until you hit 30, 32 range, you got good years left year as a running back. What do you think about Steven Jackson?
Oh, he can still produce. I mean, he's just, you know, I think the thing with Steve Jackson and the Rams quarterback, and the offense is their line. I mean, I think that's where the problem is. And if you can get a line that'll hold open enough, you can get Steve Jackson through there, you know, and he does it himself. But it'd be a lot better. He'd be a whole hell of a lot better if he was on a team that had, you know, a line that could make those holes for him. Well,
let's just look at it this way. Steven Jackson had over 250 carries last year, and he rushed for over 1,000 yards.
Oh, yeah.
So he's still at 29, a 1,000-yard plus rusher, and he carries most of the workload with over 250 carries. So I just don't see him staying with...
Oh, no.
I don't see him staying with the Rams. I mean, it's just difficult. Because, put it this way, folks, when you're going to sign your big players, you don't want it to go to the dead end. You don't want it to go to the deadline, because you don't want no one else throwing cheddar out there to them, right?
Right, and then you're going to have teams at the last minute coming in saying, hey, we give you this, we'll give you that, you know, and just make it just a little bit sweeter, and then
they're gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to say here at the Average Joe Sports Talk Show, Steven Jackson is not going to be with the Rams. I am going to go out there. I've heard some other talk, and I totally agree with it. Could you see him in a Broncos uni next year?
Actually, yeah, I could see that with Keyshawn Marino and I forgot who the backup is for him. You know, with them not really doing all that well, they need to get somebody in the backfield for Peyton Manning to take some of that pressure off of him.
And he would do it, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you're right. Keyshawn Marino, he's awesome running back, but it just seems like if they got a veteran guy in there to kind of give some leadership, maybe give him a little guidance, that would really help out the Broncos. So that's our number 4 guy, Steven Jackson. Now, this last one is real controversial. Some people say he should be a lot higher up the list. Some say he shouldn't even be on the top 5 list on anyone's list. But I gotta just I gotta throw it out to this guy, Wes Welker from the Patriots. The guy is phenomenal. The guy makes play after play after play. I mean, Tom Brady, I'm sure, would go nuts and have a fit if this guy is not on their roster next year.
I would think he would, because that's his out guy, you know. If everything else gets locked down, I mean... Yeah, he could zip it in like a needle hole and that guy's going to catch it.
Oh,
yeah, easy. I mean, and that's just it. I mean, that's his out. You take away Brady's out, I mean...
He's Brady's go. They're so comfortable together, When everything else breaks down, he's going to look, like you just said earlier, he's that receiver that knows where Brady wants him to be.
Right.
And Brady gets him the ball. Now, let's go into this. Now, he is over 30 years old, so he does have some years on him. But the guy has 118 catches, but the guy caught over 1,300 yards.
Right.
Out of any of our top 5 receivers, he has more yardage with less catches.
Yeah.
Well, not necessarily less catches, but the yardage is you know, there's a big difference. Now, we do know that he has a large salary, and the cap is really hitting the Patriots, I'm sure, and that's why they're looking to move him.
Right.
I believe his salary is like over $9 million a year. So, I just couldn't imagine the Patriots letting someone go, a talent like that Tom Brady is so comfortable with. He knows the system.
Yeah.
He knows where he needs to be.
Right.
And don't you think that they should pay the money?
I think they should. I mean, to me, in the division that they're in and the way they play, their play style, I mean, I really think, you know, Wes Walker should retire as a Patriot.
Exactly. That's the key.
I mean,
we got all these players that go from team to team
Yeah.
to team to team to team all over, and we know that that's the way
yeah.
it works. Everyone needs to make a living. Everybody needs to feed their families.
Mhm.
But as we're going to get into a little bit here later in the show, you know, when you get someone that has the opportunity to take less money, restructure contracts, to stay with that certain team, you would love to see a little more loyalty.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, you'd like to see a little bit more loyalty on both sides, you know, the team and the player.
Yeah.
You know, they should be able to look at it and go, okay, you know, this guy's produced over the years. Let's see what we can get rid of to keep him.
Exactly.
You know?
Now, he did have 6 TD catches, but it's like, for me, Wes Welker is between the 20s. Not the 20 in the end zone, but that big chunk of yardage in the center of the field, and from the 20s to the... That guy can take one pass and just cover that whole real estate.
The thing about Wes Walker is he's the type of guy that you can send into just right behind the linebackers.
Yeah.
And
just dump it right over, and he's gone. All right, folks, so that right there is our top 5 picks of free agency. Now, there are some honorable mentions that we're going to throw out. We just didn't know for sure if we put them on the list or not, but we have to mention them. And one is Greg Jennings, and he is with the Green Bay. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break. We're going to cover Greg Jennings and the Green Bay Packers when we get back, and we'll cover the rest of our honorable mentions list and get back into the NFL. We got some releases to talk about, some trade rumors. It's just going to be a great show, folks. So take a look at this Players Zone commercial. Again, they're our sponsors. We can't say enough for them. Again, right on time air and delivery service. They hook us up every week with cool stuff. Check out this commercial, but don't go away, because come back. We got tons of sports to talk about.
The balance I strove to perfect has been upset. My ravenous brethren cannot see the greater good. And once again, they wreak havoc, their hunger knowing no bounds. Humanity fights valiantly, but they are losing ground. Some go mad. Others, sensing the inevitable, give themselves freely. My angel, what has befallen you? I will find you, and those who block me will answer to my sword.
All right, people, welcome back from the commercial break. We hope you are really enjoying those commercials. We got a lot of family and friends that love to get involved here with the Average Joe Sports Show, and guess what? So can you. All you got to do is get in contact with us. If you have a topic, something you want to bring up in the community, if you want to get involved with the show in any way, right now's the time to do it. So don't hesitate. Don't put your big boy pants on, and come on in and help us out. Okay, moving on. Gonzo got a call. Had to go pick up some family. Again, we're all family here. So I'm going to ride this out on my own, but I think I'll be all right. So continuing on with free agency, we gave our top 5. Whether you like it or not, that's what we went with, but we did have some honorable mentions. And right before the break, we were talking about Greg Jennings with the Green Bay Packers. Now, not only do we think he's a great receiver, and the Green Bay Packers would be crazy to lose the guy, he is a difference maker. He is that one catch away from changing the whole game. So it'd be interesting to see if the Green Bay Packers will keep him or let him go. Now, another guy that we thought was worthy of the top 5, but for whatever reason we just weren't able to put him on there, is Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie. Now, this guy is a beast when it comes to interceptions, hitting, tackling, being a nuisance in the backfield. This guy is amazing, and he got youth behind him, but there are some off-the-field issues that kind of, I think, keep teams from wanting to bring him in. It'll be interesting to see where he goes. Reggie Bush is another honorable mention. I was really wanting to put him on that 5 spot, but just Wes Welker was just a little more impactful, we think, because Reggie Bush, don't get us wrong here. At the Average Joe Sports Show, we love the guy. He's still fairly young, still got a few good years behind him, but man, when he hits a hole, he is gone. He's like, they must rub the guy down with butter the way he squirts through some of these lines. Then when he gets in the open field, his speed takes over, and he's just an amazing guy. So we love Reggie Bush. Ed Reed, he has a little bit of years behind his belt. He is older. He may only have a couple of good years left behind him. Again, honorable mention to him. We'll be interested to see where he goes or if he stays. And then Brian Urlacher. The guy has been a phenom when it comes to linebackers for many years. He's been battling injuries. I wouldn't see at all a hesitation for the Bears to move him, to possibly pick up some extra draft picks or a couple of good younger players to come in and help out that Bears defense. Then finally, we're going to end up with Tony Gonzalez. Now, he is available, but also he has, I believe, either contemplated or he went ahead and mentioned retirement, and now he's second-guessing that. I feel if Tony Gonzalez plays this year, for sure, no doubt about it, he will be back in a Falcons uniform. Why? Because they should not have lost to the San Francisco 49ers. There is no excuse for the Falcons to have not been in the Super Bowl last year. There is no excuse on this planet why the Falcons should not have won the Super Bowl last year. I am totally disgusted, and I hate to just rant and rave here, but I'm going to do it for a second. I stopped watching that game when they were up by 20-something points. I mean, there is no excuse. Someone should have lost their job for losing that game to the 49ers last year in the championship to keep them from going to the Super Bowl. Tony Gonzalez should be slapping somebody around their stadium, around their locker room, because that guy should have been having a Super Bowl ring put on his finger last year. Because I truly believe if they would have beat the 49ers, they would have went in and beat the Ravens. The Falcons were the team last year. They were the better team. I don't care what anyone says. You look at the quarterback situation. You look at their receivers. You look at their running backs. You look at their O-line defense. They were the team to beat, and they blew it. They choked it up to the 49ers, lost a 20-point lead. Going into the third quarter, I'm going to get off of that. Tony Gonzalez, if he comes back, he will be a 49er this year. Or I'm sorry, not a 49er, a Falcons, in a Falcons uniform. Why? Because they believe that they're just one play or two away from a Super Bowl. Tony Gonzalez could be that 1, 2, or 3 play away because the man still has game. He had a better season last year than probably any of his other ones. Even in Kansas City, he's still productive. He's not hindering the team in any way. Tony Gonzalez will be back this year for a Super Bowl, to go to a Super Bowl with the Falcons, period. All right. Now, where are the QBs in all this? You know, there are a very few amount of QBs that are available that will be out on the market, but one of them is Brady Quinn. Now, I think Brady Quinn has potential, but the guy is just every year not doing it, not getting the job done. Since the first year, his rookie year, I was watching this guy. I was excited for him. I thought he would be somebody, do something in the NFL. But every year it's either he gets pushed back for another another quarterback. He doesn't get a fair shake. Well, that's not been the case. This guy needs to finally put up or shut up. If he's going to be an NFL, even just a good NFL quarterback, he needs to start making some moves right now, because right now he is in that 4 to 5 year category of being a quarterback and been shipped around a few places already, and he's just not getting a true elite quarterback or even a good quarterback job done. So hopefully Brady Quinn will make some moves, will find a team that will invest in him and maybe give him one last shot to do something. Then you got Matt Moore and Jason Campbell. Matt Moore was a glimmer of light. He was supposed to do something. Jason Campbell, on the other hand, was moved over from Washington, did fairly well there. But those two guys are still on the fence, don't know about them. But those three guys will be probably the most noise-making quarterbacks to be moved around and be out on the market. Matt Castle, the guy has kind of gone down. I mean, when he was with the Patriots, everyone thought he was going to, take over on this next team wherever he went, because when he got a little chance when Tom Brady was down, he did have moments of glory, but still hasn't gone anywhere. Carson Palmer, the Raiders may release him, might try to trade him, but who's going to want him? The guy, since being a crybaby in Cincinnati, has gone to the Raiders, really hasn't done anything. Again, everyone thought it was a situation in Cincinnati is why he was not producing. He wasn't happy there. Got a huge amount of money to go to the Raiders, and he's just crapped out. It's just time for him, again, just like Brady Quinn, to either do the job or just go away. One of the two. Ryan Fitzpatrick, I think out of all of these guys that I mentioned, has had some good quality games for many seasons as he's played, but he's very inconsistent, and I think that's what teams are worried about, is when is he going to show that consistency as a QB in the NFL. And then finally, Kevin Kolb. This guy, he totally put a sham over everybody. He tried to prove that he could be a starting quarterback in the NFL, tricked everybody in Philly to get him traded, got a huge contract, and hasn't produced nothing. The guy's been a complete dud. I'm just hoping that somebody just tells him, go away, sit on the sofa every Sunday, watch football just like we all do, and just leave the quarterback positions to the professionals. I don't know why this guy cannot get the job done, could not show any kind of leadership, but it just hasn't been there. So those are the quarterbacks there in the free agency. We are going to go ahead and cut out real quick, just take a quick break, but when we see you right back, we're going to cover some more NFL news. Stay with us, don't go away, a lot more to come.
Oh wow, Players Zone is so cool, isn't it, Bear?
That's cool.
Oh wow, they have Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, and sports cards, and I think I see comics. And they even will price your stuff for free. And the Players Zone will buy, sell, or trade any of this stuff. What can I get for him?
All right, we're back. Now, staying with the NFL, there has been today some big trades going on. One of the biggest trades was Percy Harvin getting moved from the Vikings to Seattle. Now, first of all, Percy Harvin hasn't been happy with Minnesota. He's been very vocal and open about it. But I have to say, him moving to Seattle has just made Seattle that much better. To me, Seattle was a team last year. They were focused, they gelled together, and their rookie quarterback was phenomenal. So adding Percy Harvin, if he goes in there with a positive attitude, a leadership attitude, ready to take over the role as the go-to guy and not be a cancer in the locker room, not be a distraction, I think Seattle could be in the Super Bowl. I mean, let's just put it like that. Seattle could be the team. They were very close this year, and now adding Percy Harvin, giving their rookie quarterback, another off-season training camp, all these things that go into a full season, giving him another year of experience, this guy's going to be that much more deadly. Russell Wilson, watch out. This guy could be the quarterback of the year, or at least at the top of them, okay? Now, what did the Seattle give up for Percy Harvin? They gave up a first round and a 7th round pick in this year's draft, in the 2013 draft. A first and a 7th rounder. And you would think that alone for Percy Harvin, I wouldn't say was expensive, but costly. But they also threw in a middle rounder from next year. Now, that's not too big of a deal. So, you got a 3 draft pick addition to your draft. Percy Harvin better show some results. He better show up and be a playmaker and be a difference maker for Seattle to make this worth the trade. But I have a feeling Percy Harvin will show up in that Seattle's uniform last year and do the job, make a difference. And don't be surprised if Seattle, right here from the Average Joe Sports Talk Show, just listen to this, watch the show at the end of next season, Seattle will be one of the teams to deal with at the end of the season. That's our prediction right here, Jay Real's prediction. Being real with you, Seattle. All right, moving on. Anquan Boldin made a move. I thought the Ravens should have kept him, should have held on to him, because if you watched the Super Bowl last year, if it wasn't for Anquan Boldin making a couple of miraculous, phenomenal catches, who knows what the outcome of that game would have been. He made a couple of plays to me that when the ball was in the air, I thought, oh, there it goes, they're done. Ravens coughed up a 20-point lead, it's over, and the dude just comes down with it. It's like, I don't know if he puts super glue on his hands, I don't know what the guy does, but the guy caught balls. If it weren't for him, Ravens wouldn't be Super Bowl champions from last year. I thought they would keep him, but they didn't. They dished him off to who? The Niners. The Niners picked up Anquan Boldin. Now, this is very interesting. Just like I said, Seattle will be a team to watch out for next year. Boys and girls, mom and dads, uncles and aunts, grandmas and grandpas, you better believe the 49ers are going to be right there at the end of the year too. This team, adding Anquan Boldin, a veteran receiver, someone who still can catch unbelievable throws and balls in the air. 49er fans should be very happy with this signing. All they gave up, I believe, was a 6th round pick for Anquan Boldin in this year's draft, 2013. A 6th round pick for Anquan Boldin. My gosh, they stole him. So, 49er fans should be very excited. Seattle fans, those two teams, watch out for them next year. Predictions right here. They're going to be the top of the food chain next year, okay? Now, this is a sad moment for the Average Joe Sports Talk Show. As everyone knows from watching intro, listening to me talk, watching my gear, seeing whatever I wear, we are a Steelers nation here at the Average Joe Sports Talk Show, but we love all sports. We don't just love our Steelers and talk them up and make them seem like they're all glamorous and the best thing. No, we're real with you just like we're real with everything else. The Steelers stink, we're going to tell you they stink, and we're going to tell you what they need. What they didn't need is for James Harrison to be released. Now, a lot of people will say he's been a thorn in our side for years, he talks too much, he's got too much attitude. Yes, he does, but come on, folks. Steelers Nation, you got to know this guy made a difference on the field. Now, he has been hampered. Last year, he wasn't as big as a threat as he used to be, but he still has a couple of good years behind him, and we're hoping, and we were hoped, that he would stay around and end his career with the Steelers. The problem is that he did not want to make an adjustment to his contract. He didn't want to take less money, which in turn gave the Steelers no choice but to release him, because we all know the Steelers do not give big money. Ben Roethlisberger is about the only exception. When it comes to big money contracts, as James Harrison, he was expected to make a huge amount of money. He did not want to restructure. He did not want to take less money to stay as a Steeler. He wanted to see if he had better chances of getting big money on the open market. It could happen. It is very scary to think of where he would go, because there's been rumors, there's been talks that he could even be a Patriot next year. Cut my heart out. Not a Patriot. If he's in a Patriot uniform, I will gargle acid water. I will eat battery acid. This cannot happen. Our James Harrison could not go to the Patriots. But you know what? When it's all said and done, it's about taking care of your family, providing for your family. So, with the heavy heart, I'll say, okay, if he's with the Patriots, we'll have to just watch our 100-yard return linebacker in the Super Bowl record, never been done. We'd have to see our linebacker in a Patriots uniform. That's going to be tough to swallow, but we love him. The guy was an undrafted free agent in 2002. Undrafted. That's what Steelers do. They build through the draft. They bring in their undrafted second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth rounders, make them stars, and when they want the big money, guess where they go? They go everywhere else. And then we got to start all over again. But that's okay, because Steeler Nation, Steeler fans, we love them. We love the way they are. We love the heritage, the respect of the team. And we're going to miss James Harrison. The guy was an All-Pro in 2007, 2008, and 2010. And let's not forget, as I mentioned, he ran the 100-yard interception, end zone to end zone, that helped win us a Super Bowl against Arizona. So, basically, much love to you, James Harrison. We're going to miss you in Steelers Nation. We hope you do well wherever you go. But when you come back to play the Steelers, we hope you burn. We hope you go down. Anyway, that's all we have right now for NFL. But moving on, we're running out of time. We really got to speed things up. The PGA, Tiger Woods pulled out a victory this weekend. The guy won 19 under par and only won by 2 strokes. Imagine that. 19 under par for the tournament, and you win by 2 strokes. Imagine how good the competition is getting. It's just amazing to me. But Tiger Woods is back on track. He has a huge tournament coming up. We'll see how he does then. If he can pull out another victory, maybe we can look back and say he's back on track, or Tiger is back. But right now I have to say he's doing very well. His putting is coming along. He's drilling those putts, which is what he needs to do to get back to true form. So we're excited for Tiger Woods. And then Rory McIlroy. The guy is 20-something, like 21, 22, tops 23 years old. Give the guy a break. So what? He walked off a tournament a couple weeks back. The guy wanted to say his tooth hurt. So what? Maybe his tooth did hurt, maybe not. He's number 1 in the world. He's in his early 20s, and he can kick anyone's ass if he gets on the freaking court or on the golf course with him. So give the guy a break. Who cares if yes, he has lessons to learn. He has maturity to go, but the guy is number 1 in the world in his early 20s. God, just gets so frustrating. Everybody getting on someone when they're at the top for something so stupid. Yes, he has a lot to learn, and yes, he shouldn't have gave up. But that's something he'll learn, that's something he'll grow, and I'm sure he'll come back in the next few weeks. He did very well this last weekend. Started out very rough, but pulled it together and had a strong comeback on the last day, and ended up, I believe, 8th, maybe 7th in the tournament. Give the guy a break, all right? Now, moving on to NBA, real quick. DeAndre Johnson's dunk over the Pistons guy was just nasty. It looked like he was about at the free throw line when the alley-oop went up in the air. He jumps, grabs it halfway between the foul line and the net and the hoop, and he just dunks it. And the dude is like levitating perfectly like the Matrix above the ground and slams his head back on the court. It was just an amazing dunk. And I've heard other sports hosts this morning and other sports people saying, oh, well, the guy was only 6'3". He dunked over a 6'3" guy. How big is that? Hey, I don't care if the guy wasn't even there at all. If the guy just took the ball and dunked it with no one in front of him, that still would have been a top 10, top 5 dunk of the year. But to have somebody trying to get in your way, they were both in midair. This is what's so amazing. Go check it out. Go online. Type in DeAndre Johnson's dunk, and you'll see it for yourself. The dude is levitating almost vertical as the dude just power dunks it so far away from the rim. It was just amazing that he was able to get it in the net. But that was an amazing dunk in the NBA. Moving on to the Lakers. The Lakers are finally above 500. That's right. They're 2 games above Utah. So they are right now that AC. If the season were in today, they're in the playoffs. Folks, I have to tell you this. They're going to be in the playoffs. They are going to make the playoffs. The problem is the Lakers are going to get kicked out of the playoffs on the first round. They have not enough energy, not enough youth to hang in a 7-game series with these guys in the West. Oklahoma City will chew them up and spit them out in a 7-game series. There's only one way that they have a chance of winning past the first round, and that's if the bus doesn't make it. the plane breaks down, whatever, and the team doesn't show up for the games. The Lakers' championship run is just to get to the playoffs. If they can make the playoffs, maybe they can look back and go, look where we started, look where we finished, and we have something to look at positively for next season. Because they have to get some youth. The other teams know how to beat the Lakers. Guess how they do it? Throw the ball back and forth, zip up and down the court, transition basketball, get back and play defense, run down on the offensive plays, make Lakers run, and by the halftime, the Lakers are spent. They have nothing left in the gas tank. So, Lakers, good luck. You're doing a lot better than anyone thought. Just a few weeks ago, we were talking about how disarrayed they were, how messed up a team they were, that they probably wouldn't even make the playoffs, but we have to sit there and now say, yeah, they're doing very well. So, we're happy for them. Knicks, now they're in the mess. We don't know what's going on with Melo. He seems to be hurt, but then is he really hurt? Was this just something going on where he told his coach, hey, I'm hurt, and the coach says, hey, I'm stubborn, I'm not taking you out? Which to me right there, when you're dealing with a $100 million man, that owner should have went down there, smacked that dude off his chair, and told him to be in the parking lot, get his crap together, and get out of my stadium. You don't mess with someone that costs you $100 million when he says he's hurt. You better take a serious look at that and deal with that, because now Melo ain't even going to play in the next game. So, I mean, this is just a big mess. And then you got Stoudemire, who's out with a knee injury. Not his same injured knee. Now this is a knee that hasn't even had surgery. This is a new knee, his other knee. So now both knees are going to be jacked. It's just, the Knicks at some point in the season looked like the golden team, like they could stand up to the Heat. Right now, it doesn't look that way. Now, we are going to go ahead and wrap up the show. The Miami Heat is a whole nother category here. That show is going to have to be on its own. I will have to take a whole show just to deal with the Miami Heat. So we're just going to leave it right here with the NBA. The Heat, they are the best team. They'll probably win another championship or two in a row. But give me a break, folks. This isn't a surprise. This shouldn't be some miraculous feat that's happened. If anyone can look at the Heat and say that they're surprised that they're doing well, then they know nothing about basketball. The Heat should have won the first year that they got put together, because they basically took 3 number ones, put them on the Heat, and now they're just running around. They're just running through people. They lost to the Celtics the first year. They should have won. They won the second year. They're probably going to win this year and the next years to come. I'm not surprised. It's just crazy. We're going to deal with the Heat on another show. We're going to do a full segment on them. Look at their team, break it down, and break down their competitors and the other teams that are even have a chance at beating the Heat anytime soon. So that'll be on the next coming up shows. So right now, we've already exhausted all our time, so we got to go, folks. But be sure to tune in to next week's show, or this end of the week show, because we're going to have a really cool show up for you. So for right now, peace and much love. J Real out.
J Real. J